3, 2, 1.
Yeah,
All
countdown.
right. Since we're talking about counting down, here we are again.
Yeah.
And we're going to talk about counting today because you said something
Right.
so interesting. I think it was in version 85 of the book, you decided to reverse the chapters and count backwards.
It was, yeah, something like that. And I don't know. I have, like, between running, I run a whole bunch and I swim, and I always with swimming, I've tried to count the number of lengths I've done to, like, I'll set a target and try, and it's so difficult. I mean, it sounds stupid, but like you're
No.
putting all this effort in, right? And when I run, I lose count because you can't really, like, I now track the distance that I run with my phone. That the running's easier, but swimming is harder because you haven't got your phone with you. And
I'm even thinking about at the gym as a personal trainer. I used to say to clients, like if they're sitting in a wall squat and they have like 2 minutes, I would be counting down because I'm like, okay, you only got 15 more to go versus the other way where you're like,
it's, well, one day, and this was several months before version 85 or whatever it was, I was swimming and I thought, I wonder if there's any research on the counting down, because, like, literally I've done all this stuff and I've come to this conclusion. And I'm thinking about, like, I'm like, what did James Clear do in this moment when he was swimming? You know, whatever he was thinking that wrote a particular little snippet of his book, right? And I was like, I'll check the research. So I, after I'd swam, I jumped on Claude or ChatGPT or whatever I was using at the time, and it was like, is there any research that validates that counting down is more effective than just counting? And I was like, yeah, there is. I was like, okay, you know, like, it was validated. My hunch was already proven. I didn't have to go and run a scientific research test. And
it sounded so much more fun. Like, I like that because you're getting to, like, you're getting to the win. It's like, I'm getting, you know, like, you feel everyone you do, you feel like you're getting to the win. You're not getting to the end. You're getting to the win, right?
If I'm climbing up from 5, 10, 15, 20, I can get off at any point. Oh, 25 was my target, but I'm just going to stop. Right? Whereas you start at 25, 24, 23, you can't stop at 7 because that's a quitter, right? So you plow through to the end, right?
Wait, do you not think if you went the other way, you wouldn't feel like a quitter? If you, you could say, I got all the way.
I'm bored. I'm busy. I've got to make that phone call. I've done 20. That's good enough, right?
Right. I got all the way to 20. You could justify it, I think, a little more.
Right. And so when I found the science, I was very proud of myself. But then I forgot that I'd found the science, and I'd made some notes, but never made it into the book, right? So there's nothing more irritates me as an innovator, creator person, but to have the same idea twice. And so 4 months later, I'm swimming along going, I think there's some research on this, but this time I tapped it into my phone, and then I was like, I'm swimming, and I'm like, oh my God, we could count down the chapters in the book.
Yeah, I think it's genius. It just feels so much more different.
It was so, yeah. So then I'm like, okay, hey, Claude, because I've definitely moved to Claude by this point. Hey, Claude, I've got Claudia. That's actually my new name for her. I think it's more, I can more have an intimate relationship with Claudia than Claude. But anyway, you each have to give your AI its own name.
I think so.
Claudia is a really lame name. Like, it's just like the most anyway, that's another topic. So then I asked Claude, has anyone else done this? Well, Claude's first response is no. And it's like, Claude, dig a little deeper, buddy. I'm sure someone must have done this. And he's like, oh yeah, well, Stephen King did it, right? In I forget which book it was, but one of his books counts down the chapters in reverse order because it was the amount of time this guy had to live, right? It was a countdown clock to his death.
Cool.
Right? So, and then I think I found one other book, but there's been no business book that's done it, right? So I was like, okay, So then I decided to reverse the order. At the beginning, I started saying, you may notice we're counting down. And then I gave them a like an adventure, because I'm not going to tell you why until later. You'll get the rewards. Somewhere, I don't know,
that's cool.
2/3 of the way through the book, it unravels this thing, right? Because
I mean,
now you're
what I love about it is that it's just so different, and it makes you like you approach the book in a different way. And there's so many books to read, but like,
right.
Why think just like do things the way everyone else did them just because people did them that way? Like it doesn't, if it doesn't make sense, or there's something else that's fun.
Right. Like not going the wrong way down a one-way street, a lot of sense for that, right? Crazy.
Probably.
Driving at 100 down in a 30 zone, a lot of sense for that, right? But certain rules are just not meant to be adhered to. They're not really rules, right? But we just, we're too conformist, right? We're too compliant in some ways to do that. So yeah, I really got excited by it. And then, remember that book, the book called Random? We talked. I shared with. So there was. I love this group, this monthly meetup called Cardstock, and two of the guys from Cardstock had made a book called Random, and they were launching the book,
isn't it?
And they were. Yeah, it was basically, it's not really a book, it's a card deck, right?
Yeah.
They found a publisher, it's being published, all this kind of stuff, right? And they created an advent calendar for their book. Well, what does an advent calendar do but count down?
Mm-hmm. And you know, it's funny because I watched my little grands at Christmas time this year, and so they're old enough now to have their advent calendar, and they were so excited every morning to wait. And not only did they had to wait, they had to share days. So they had to do alternate days because there's two of them. And they couldn't, like when the other one was getting it, they couldn't take it. They had to wait for the next day.
There's a business opportunity for somebody. Advent calendars for twins.
It's true. Or brothers.
Double doors.
Yeah. Right. Very good. Yeah. But it's thinking differently, which is what we did through this whole project. And then back to that randomness thing. We've been talking about cards for years, and the whole thing about cards is the randomization. Like you learn differently by that, by just having something pop in that day that is out of order.
It blew my mind one time. I'm chatting to this guy, and he's telling me about his card deck, and he's got half his audience were like very spiritual and and half his, were completely non-religious, non-spiritual. And so some of them were like, oh, the universe chose this card for me. Which is totally fine. It's absolutely 100% valid, right? Equally, the other half of the audience, when this is just luck, right? It's just random, right? Both are wonderful. Why? Because the human being picks, I'll just have my usual. Guys are worse than this than women. It's like we walk in and say, I'll have the usual. You'll eat the same thing, drink the same thing, right?
Yeah.
And when it comes to a card deck and choosing, or not just a card deck, but any choice you make, you pick the obvious, easy, familiar choice, right?
Yeah.
And
so it forces you to just be a little risky, right?
Yeah. And it's not that risky because you're not picking from like 70 million songs on Spotify. There are 52 cards in the deck, whatever 78, whatever the number is, right? But you're choosing from within a constraint. And it's like, it's just saying, it's like one of those, it's like being in the optician's chair and they're flicking through these different lenses to say, which way should we look at it? The bigger, smaller, which way are we going to look, right? And that's powerful, I think. To me, that's super powerful.
Yeah.
So, we've hinted on something here, but we haven't actually followed through. I think we should just follow through with it, right? What do you think?
Yeah.
Should we? Yeah, right. So we talked about advent calendar. So we basically have productized it. So we have created.
Let me just jump in here with the knock your socks off moment.
Right.
It really is. It's so freaking good. Yeah.
It is. Honestly, if you, to give you a benchmark, if you have tried the quiz and you think the quiz is good, which you should, because it is, right? I'm not bragging, but, or maybe that is bragging, I don't know. But it's good, right? But let me just benchmark. If the quiz is here, the quest, which is the advent calendar, is like it's like 10 times that, right?
It's amazing. Yeah,
because
and you gotta keep following, because it's going to be more and more will be revealed about this, and you'll be getting to test it out, try it, and all of that very soon.
One of my favorite media people was this lady from Kelowna, Susan, who was on the local radio station, and she taught me this trick a long time ago. And she's like, never just tell someone something. You've always got to tease it.
Right. It's true.
And the other day I hadn't heard from her for months and months, and she put like up on LinkedIn that this was her last day at the radio station. And I was like, okay, here's a tease, right? She knew what she was doing. She told you she was leaving, but she didn't tell you where it was going. And I was like, forever the tease. I commented forever the tease. She's like, oh,
that's very good. Yeah, that's very good.
Hard, right?
Should we say coming soon? Coming soon?
Yeah, coming soon. Yeah, you'll find out. Dial back in. Come back to find more. Join the group. Take the quiz. Right?
Sounds good. All right.
I think we should time out.
That's it for today. Should we count down? 3, 2, 1, and we'll see you tomorrow. 3, 2, 1.